Now we get to work on the Z. I went ahead and ran it for about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, get the heat up, so that way the oil's, you know, been running through, so that way when I go ahead and pop the drain plug, it all comes out. So underneath, and I'll show you in a little bit, I've got a bunch, there's a skid plate or a cover underneath, and there's about, I want to say 19 bolts all the way around, a mix of 10 millimeter, there's some plastic pins, and I think there's one 17 millimeter, I think. So when we get under there, I'll show you what all that looks like, and then we'll go through, show you the filter I got, oil I'm using, and all that stuff. All right, so this is what the underside looks like, and there's the bolts I was talking about, a couple of Phillips heads, this whole piece right here, and looks like I'm missing a bolt right here, or nope, bolt's there. Looks like it just ripped out. I don't know if you remember, I mentioned it in the I think the spacers episode. This is that dent I was talking about. Now, in order to get this out, once I get this out, I'm going to see if I can reach up in there. However, I think I'm going to have to take the bumper off, which is fine because it is a mess. You can see. And I also got this dent here, although I don't even know how this happened. Oddly enough, it's the same size as a ball hitch on a truck. I work with a bunch of people that have them, but you know how tough it is to perfectly match it up, and even if they did it, I don't think they did it on purpose and probably didn't even realize it. So, we're going to go in, pull all these screws off and everything, and drop this, and then we'll take a better look. Got it off. There's the filter, and there's the drain plug right there. It's a very small oil pan. These are not huge engines, but I only had 15 bolts. This came loose, and this one is also loose, so I'm thinking I'm missing a couple of screws, so I'll see if I can't replace those while I'm in here. I'll take the camera, take a nice look up here, see if I see anything that stands out since I'm under here. Everything looks good. Don't see any oil drips or anything. A lot of bugs and crap. Ugh. Looks like I got a little bit of damage here. I think this is the oil cooler. So, but I think that, yep, right where this was. And also, probably, yeah, you can't see it, but whatever I hit that day, boy, it did some damage, that's for sure. All right, now that we got that, let's get the drain pan underneath here, get that bolt off, and start going. Here's that cover. Looks like I do have a little something. I don't know what that is. I don't think it's oil, though, because it doesn't seem to be around any of the oil parts, so I might have to explore that a little bit. But this is the cover that's underneath the engine. So this has to come out every time you want to change the oil. So fun stuff. Zema. Alright, so this is what we're going to use. Pennzoil Platinum High Mileage Full Synthetic 5W30. And this is the oil filter that we're going to use. HP 1008. Now, this is a 2009 and it has 96,000 miles on it. Not super high mileage for today's standard, but I read some pretty good reviews on the forums, especially this is that platinum edition, so it's supposed to be really good, full synthetic. It looks like, as it was draining, which it's almost done. It's been a little while since I've done an oil change on this, so I've kind of been neglecting it, so it was really due. But this is what we're putting in it. As soon as this thing is done draining, we're going to go ahead and install the new stuff, and then we'll fill it up. Let's go ahead and start it. Well, it sounds good, so I think we're good. Oil's changed. I'll check the levels after I shut it off, but other than that, it should be good. And I just got to put the bottom piece on. All done. This episode I named Care and Feeding because the truth is, you can do all the mods you want with the engine, the body, and all that, but if you don't do the maintenance portion of it, you're never going to get out of the driveway. So that's what this episode was for. Changing oil, changing spark plugs, and to prove that, you know, you don't have to go down to the dealership and spend thousands of dollars on having them check your fluids and all that stuff when you can do it right here in your driveway or your garage. I'm not saying every single one of it is as easy as 370Z and a Suburban, but a lot of them are. So don't be afraid to give it a shot. There's thousands of videos out there, including this one, you can watch and do your own maintenance. So everything went smooth, and I gotta say, changing oil on a 370, probably the easiest oil change I've ever done. Everything is right there in the front. The worst part is taking that cover off, and once you get that cover off, man, everything is like right there. I was very pleased with how smooth that went. You know, old oil came out, new oil went in, basically that was it. Suburban a little more difficult because it's in the back of the engine, and I made a complete mess in my driveway, but I'll get it cleaned up. I should have bought a little bag of kitty litter, which if any of you's ever had oil spills or gas spills, you know that stuff sops it right up. Spark plugs went in pretty easy. Everything seems to be running good. We'll go back and we'll check that once we hit about 1,000 miles or so, see how that one spark plug is doing after the seafoam. I'm going to go ahead and drop some seafoam in my gas here to clean out my injectors. This runs really good. It doesn't burn any oil. Knock on wood as soon as I go in the house. But for a 2009 with 98,000 miles, it runs very well, and the engine is pretty clean. Everything went back together really smooth, started it up as you saw, and very happy with it. Oh, I wanted to show you the tires. So, what I was talking about with the lettering, you can see it. So, see how it's not exactly solid, but you notice the F here took a lot better. So if I want to, I'm gonna have to redo these. And then I was also talking about, you can see here, yeah, see, so some of the plastic dips coming off, and it's the same for the rear tires as well. The lettering didn't hold as good as I'd like. Now that could be the type of marker I purchased. It could just be you know, that they're not solid lettering, so that's probably why it's not taken. I could attempt to go ahead and color them like this, but with the way that pen dripped, I don't really want to take it because then I'll have streaks of white on there. So I have cleaned and shined it all since then, and that might have something to do with it as well. But you know what? It's all right. It's still, even though they're a little dirty, still to me it looks cool. So, anyways, that's the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, I got a link down in the description for the streetcar event in Charlotte Speedway at Z-Max Drag Strip. They're going to be doing something all day. Well, next Friday night they're having a meet downtown, but Saturday is the actual event. They're having a car show, they're having rolling drags, they're having regular drag strip, they're having trucks, I mean, there's a ton of stuff going on. So come on down, and again, if you drop me a note in the comments and I know that your car is there, I'll get a hold of you and I'll come down and I'll shoot yours, because my next video is pretty much going to be that entire event. Also watching two good friends of mine race each other. One has a Mustang Bullet, and I want to say, I don't even know what year it is, but pushing 600 horsepower, and then we've got another buddy who's got a 2014 GTR, and he's dying to get it on the track. So those two are going to go head to head, and I can't wait to see how that turns out. So I'm going to get those guys on camera and interview them and take a look at their cars, and then you guys can see them actually go head to head on the track. So that ought to be pretty neat. I'm actually excited about that. So anyways, as always, if you've got something to do on your car or truck, your fleet of vehicles, if you will, go ahead and do it yourself. Look around at the YouTube videos, find some instructions, get the manual, whatever you got to do. All right, I also want to do a quick thank you to all the new subscribers, and we're almost up to 50. We're getting there. So if you're watching this, please hit the subscribe button. I've got some other videos coming out. Oddly enough, starting to sprinkle. But if you got a project, got something you need to do on your car, glove up and F and do it. Thanks for watching.